I kept the divorce papers tucked in the glove compartment of my car that night, the night everything shifted. They were signed, dated, ready to be filed first thing Monday morning. I'd rehearsed my lines over and over. Calm, detached, practice. We've drifted apart. I would say, this isn't working anymore. But none of that happened. That night, I overheard something that shattered me and somehow stitched me back together. For months, I'd felt like a ghost in my own home. My wife, ILA, and I barely exchanged words unless it was about bills or errands. Dinner had become a silent, uncomfortable routine. Two strangers eating side by side out of habit. The laughter, the little jokes, the effortless touches we once shared, they were all gone. It had started after I lost my job last year. 20 years with the same company, and suddenly I was expendable. I told myself it was just a rough patch, that I'd bounce back, but weeks turned into months. I could feel her patience waning. She never said it outright, but her eyes did, the disappointment, the frustration. Then came the late-night texts, the sudden burst of laughter at her phone, the new perfume, the longer showers. I wasn't blind. I knew what those signs often meant. Still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed proof, or maybe I just needed courage. One night, I checked her phone while she slept. Just once. Nothing incriminating, no messages, but she had deleted her call history. That alone was enough. That's when I made up my mind. Divorce. Quiet. Clean. No spectacle. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted my dignity back. 2 nights before I planned to leave, she mentioned she was going out with friends. Just dinner and drinks, she said, barely glancing up from her mirror. I nodded, feigning indifference. But after she left, a mix of anger and curiosity twisted inside me. I grabbed my jacket and drove to the restaurant she'd named. I parked across the street, telling myself I only wanted to see who she was with. Through the window, I spotted her at a table with 3 of her old college friends. She was laughing, animated, with no man in sight. For a moment, relief washed over me. Maybe I'd been wrong. Maybe paranoia had clouded my mind. Then I saw one of her friends lean in, whisper something, and Isla's expression changed. Her shoulders stiffened, her smile faltered, and then, God help me, she was crying. I did something reckless. I stepped out of the car and moved toward the side of the restaurant, standing near the open window where they sat today. The music was loud, but I could catch her words. "He's not the same anymore," she said. "He barely talks. He just sits there, like he's somewhere else." Her friend asked softly, "Do you still love him?" ILA hesitated. Then came the words that nearly broke me. "I don't know, but I remember why I fell in love with him, and that's what's killing me." Her voice trembled. "He thinks I don't notice, but I see how lost he looks. He doesn't laugh like he used to. He doesn't even argue. It's like he's given up on himself, maybe even on us. I know I've been distant, but it's not because I stopped loving him. It's because I don't know how to reach him anymore." Her friend reached over and touched her hand. ILA laughed bitterly through her tears. "Sometimes I think he deserves someone better, someone who still believes in him. But then I remember how he used to look at me, like I was enough, and I just want that back." Something inside me cracked. Shame, guilt, confusion, they tangled together. I had been so sure she was cheating, so ready to walk away, that I never stopped to consider she might be hurting too. I slipped back into my car before she could see me and sat there for nearly an hour, staring at the steering wheel. The divorce papers on the passenger seat suddenly seemed absurd, like a surrender born of pride, not truth. When she returned home that night, she found me in the kitchen making tea. "You up?" she asked cautiously. "Yeah," I said. "Couldn't sleep." We stood there in silence for a long moment. Then, without knowing why, I said, "Do you remember our first apartment? The one with the broken heater?" She blinked, caught off guard. "Of course. We used to boil water to stay warm." I smiled faintly. "You used to tuck your cold feet under my legs when we watched TV." She laughed, a real laugh, small but genuine. Something came over me, and I reached out to take her hand. She didn't pull away. Her fingers were tense at first, then soft, familiar. We didn't speak about the months of silence, the suspicion, or the distance, Not that night. But something shifted, like a window cracked open in a room that had been closed too long. Over the next few weeks, we began rebuilding awkwardly and imperfectly. But honestly, we went for walks, cooked together. She shared her fears, how she felt unseen. I admitted my shame, my sense of failure, the pride that kept me from asking for help. It wasn't perfect. We argued. We still had moments of doubt. But for the first time in years, we were trying. Sometimes, late at night, I think back to that evening outside the restaurant, how close I came to walking away from the only person who truly knew me. Last week, while cleaning the car, I found the envelope with the divorce papers. I sat there, staring at my signature and the date. Then I tore it slowly, deliberately in half, because I finally understood something. Marriage isn't about never breaking. It's about choosing to repair the cracks, even when they run deep. And sometimes, love doesn't arrive in grand confessions or apologies. Sometimes, it's just a quiet voice whispering, "I still believe in you.